Hello and welcome to video number 6. So let's begin the brainstorm process. As noted earlier, having a mock-up of your bot's layout is crucial before you jump in and create one. But before you can create a mock-up, you need to do a little bit brainstorming and some creative thinking. Now, the reason why we're doing brainstorming first before we do mock-ups is there's two sides of the brain. There's the creative brain and then there's the logical side of the brain. What we found through a lot of testing is that when you begin to brainstorm things, you don't want to think about how to organize anything or any of that. We're going to talk about that in the next video with mock-ups. So mock-ups is more of the logical side of the brains. And what we found that creates writer's block or even creative block is when you try to mix the two together. So what we're really focusing on here is just the creative process. What kind of questions that you want to ask. You don't need to worry about what happens if they say yes or no or anything like that. Just the questions that need to be asked in order to get the end results or in order to get the information that you need to give them the end result or give them the answer that they need. Now, first you need to know what is your end result. I talked about this in the previous videos, but we really need to hone this down. So do you want a lead or a sale? Or do you want to solve the customer's problems via a customer support chat? What do you want to achieve? Jot that down, pause this video, and do that right now. Now, based upon that, you want to move backwards and ask yourself, well, okay, so I want to make a sale. And in order to make a sale, this prospects, they're unaware of me. I need to give value. What kind of value do I need to give? What kind of questions do I need to ask in order to give that kind of value? Or if it's a lead, what kind of value should I provide? Same thing, in order to get the lead. Now, what we recommend that you do is what we call the brainstorm splatter method. So, as we discussed earlier, that we're in the creative process, we don't want to think logically or anything like that. The brainstorm splatter method sounds just like that. You're basically taking ideas, questions, and all of these creative ideas that you have and simply putting them down on a piece of paper or a mind map or whatever you want. And that's it. You don't have to worry about the order process. What if they say yes? What if they say no? Which questions should I put first? None of that should be in your mind. You're simply taking the questions that you need to ask and the creative ideas and putting them down. And then in the next video, we will organize them. All right. So you simply add all of your ideas that come to you and jot them down. It doesn't matter where they are on the piece of paper. They just need to be on the piece of paper. So no order, no organization, or anything like that. Now, doing this will help your creative mind think faster without getting writer's block. Now, to better understand how this works, let's use an example. Let's jump to a mind mapping software and use the brainstorm splatter method. And I'm going to show you this to you in action. So as I mentioned in the brain splatter method, and yes, that name sounds funny, but it really is just trying to get everything in your brain onto the piece of paper. So what we want to do first, before we think about the bot, is to really think about what is it that you want to sell, to get people to. Do you want to get people to your website? Do you want to get people to your course, to your product, to your service? Where? So before you can even know any of that information, you need to put down what you are selling, what you're providing, and all of that. All right. So putting down here, I'm using Lucidchart. That is LUCID chart.com. And I like to use Lucidchart because in this case, I'm just simply putting all the ideas on this grid here. And when it comes to organizing things, then I can simply move things around and organize it very, very easily. Now, like I said, don't even think about organizing it yet. This is a really good way to just get the ideas out on the paper. So you need to figure out, okay, I have a website. What do you have? I have a product, maybe product 1. We'll just call it product 1. We have product 2. And there we go. So assuming what you have in your business that you want to ultimately, as the end result, to get people to, we have the website, we have product 1 and product 2. All right. So based upon that, when we're creating our chatbot, do we want to get people to the website, product 1, or product 2? So you could either do one of the 2 or one of the 3, or you could simply do all of them. So you could have a chatbot that helps people get their questions answered, but also understands and figures out what exactly do they want. And based on that information, you could then send them to your website, maybe an article or a video. Or maybe they're in a buying mood. They don't really care about content. They already know you. They just want to find your product and find the location of your product. So product 1, maybe they're interested in product 2. So that's why you need to figure out what is it that you're trying to sell first, right? And then from this point, you can move backwards. So let's say that for this specific chatbot, I want to have the website and I want to have the product. So my goal here, and we're going to do a copy of this. And the prospect is going to be over here. Or customer. So if we assume that, okay, most people are unaware, but some of them are customers, you need to figure out, are they customers or are they prospects? So you could ask a question first and then later on ask, have you purchased from us before or have you not? And if they say, yes, I have purchased from you, then you know to direct them maybe to the products or the website. So as you can imagine, the prospect or customers here, we need to figure out where they stand, and based upon that, we need to figure out where they want to go. All right. So from here, the chatbot essentially is just a interface between the prospect and the customer and the website or the product. And based on this and knowing this, we now know an idea of what kind of questions to ask. So let's say, in realistic terms, scuba diving equipment. And the website is a scuba diving website with great content. So based upon this, we can begin to brainstorm. So what kind of questions could we ask? All right, so I don't care about the order. I'm just jotting them down. So in order for me to know whether somebody's a prospect or a customer, I need to ask a question. Have you purchased from us before? So if they say yes, then they are a customer and they are aware. If they say no, however, then they are a prospect. And then, of course, based on that, we now know what kind of questions to ask. Now, the prospect is going to need a little bit more pre-selling or giving them good information first. whereas the customer has already gained your trust, they already have your trust, they already know who you are, they already trust you, and therefore they don't need a lot of pre-selling. So in this case, we could direct them straight to the scuba equipment. We could even direct them to, let's say, updates. So we'll just do updates. So what are all the things that a customer is going to want to know? They want to know the updates. They want to know the latest things that are happening. So we'll call this update / latest products. They're going to want to see product reviews maybe, or even maybe they want to see like social proof before they buy. They're also going to want to know about discounts, like special deals and discounts. All right. So I'm just kind of putting this out there. There's no order right now. We're going to deal with that in the next video. But what about the prospect? The prospect is going to need to have a little bit more pre-selling. So we're going to say needs more pre-selling, needs content. And this one little block could equal many different blocks based upon what they are looking for. So what else do they need? They are going to, before they sign up or sign up as a lead, maybe they need something of value, like a free gift. They're also going to need to have social proof. That's definitely something that would help. They definitely would need product reviews and other deals and all of that as well. So based upon this, we can then create some questions. So we have you purchased from us before? The prospects, they need more pre-selling. And the easy way to create questions is to take a look at your content and take a look at the content that is the most popular and the most demanded content that your prospects are asking you. So look at your existing content and create questions around it. That's a super easy way to create content and create questions and all of that. So something free of value. What is it that the prospect would want? So to give you some ideas, like I briefly mentioned earlier, the scuba diving equipment, for example, if you're selling scuba diving, you could say something like the top 3 scuba diving equipment, the top 3 ways to scuba dive for the latest technology, stuff even that doesn't even relate to the actual equipment. You can, for example, yoga, if you're selling a yoga mat, you could teach about yoga. You could teach about different ways of doing yoga, different ways of stretching. Because at the end of the day, as long as the question surrounds the niche, then that's going to help you create the questions that you need. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on different questions that you can ask. And in the next video, we're going to organize all of this.